They're on the opposite side now. Look at that. This is like 3:30 in the morning. 3:35. I'm just going out to my car to grab something. I looked up. I felt like they were getting my attention. Something. Weird stuff. This is almost in the direction that I used to see them in. And now they're gone. Oh, they are. Good watch. If I can see it. It's freezing out here. Literally. There on the top. Right there. I haven't seen them in this location in months. Or at this time. I live like in the woods. This is all rural around me. I feel like I'm about to get eaten. Alright. Oh, here we go. Oh. Oh wow. Look at that. There's a whole bunch of them. We just can't see them on the phone. Wow. Oh, here goes another one. A lot of activity for one day. Right. My phone died. Of course. So I had to recharge it. Dog out here with me. There we go, look at that. kind of spread across that tree line. You can see them with the naked eye, just can't see them on camera. It's cold out here, I'll show you that. It's 3:51 a.m. and it's literally freezing. And let's see if I can show you the, oh, there's one right there. The direction. This is east, so it's, I would say it's, well, northeast-ish. Usually, yeah, I would say that's the only location. That's not right there. Whoa, look at those. Top. Whoa. It's definitely something, man. That's out of the ordinary. I've done videos before talking about what I think they are and what it means, and just throwing out new ideas. Look at that one on the bottom. And if you're consistent with my channel, you'll know that there's nothing out here. There's no major airports. There are occasional airplanes, but these ain't airplanes. Could be drones. Could be something spiritual. Who knows? I'm just observing and reporting. And if you're new and you want my opinion of what this stuff is, it's going to be unorthodox completely. Just let me know and I'll let you know. Oh, look at this. Whoa. one could even say maybe this is Starlink, but I've seen, like I said, I just had video of it earlier in the opposite direction, and I've been seeing this phenomena, which I've done many videos on in the last couple of years, and I have stuff that I have triple that I'd never even shared with anybody. Whoa, I don't think Starlink would just be posting up over here in rural New Mexico all the time, which I've seen Starlink. I have seen it go through, but they're always single file. And they have a weird, like, feel to them. Like, you can tell they're like man-made, just the way it operates. These things, like, I don't know, it could be drone-ish like, but they almost remind me of like birds, when they flock around a spotlight. But I've never seen birds do that. Oh, all my spotlights are coming on. My dog's walking around, trolling. Gonna wait a few seconds for that to go down, to go off. Today earlier on, I was watching a compilation of like TikToks, and I don't have TikTok or anything like that. It's a compilation YouTube videos, and one video was talking about how this company is making artificial shooting stars, and I was half asleep, so I didn't hear for what the reason was. I woke up midway through it, but I was like, of course they are. This is the perfect time to do it, especially when, well, look at that. There are people out there figuring this stuff out, right? What this aerial phenomena means. Does it have meaning to you? Every man has their own sky, right? Every man has their own reality. I say it like that so we know that, or you know that you are symbiotic with your reality. Things happen on purpose and for a reason. And the reason why we're severed from that understanding is part of the spiritual severing from God, right? Because if you know that things happen for a reason, and you are symbiotic with nature, with reality, you would know that there's a God. You would know that there's a designer, a creator. Right? So I attributed some of this aerial phenomena to being signs. And I connected, look at those three up top. I connected even that movie Signs. They're secretly telling you from a conventional point of view or from a worldly point of view. One would look at those things as aliens, right? Because that's the narrative they want to fool us with, to sever us, right? But on the spiritual side of it, we know aerial phenomena through scriptures as being signs. The lights in the firmament, the sun and the moon, the reason why you see an eclipse or a blood moon, like these things have deliberate meaning to them. And even all the way down to a literal level. There's a macro aspect of it when the world or a certain part of the world can see a visible, even if it's very faint and small, a worldwide meteor or comet, which happens every once in a while. It's usually an omen, or I hate to use words like that, but it's usually a sign. like a blood moon, a sign of a blood moon. We all know by now, like, it's a warning sign. And same thing with a solar eclipse, right? The solar eclipse is a warning to where it's eclipsed at, that part of the world, that part of the country. The blood moon, a lot of people say that the blood moon is in reference, a warning to Israel. But I still believe it's to whatever part of the world it can be seen at. And they also say that the blood moon or the moon is attributed to Israel as the sun is to Christians, or Jews and the Christians, which is something to take reference in. It's a possibility, but I believe it's the location. Then I'm not an expert or anything. So I'm just observing. This is trippy, huh? And so I believe that a lot of the aerial phenomenon that the individual sees, like a wandering star, a shooting star, those are deliberate signs for that individual. And I even explained what kind of signs they are before. But I think the whole drone invasion has muddied the waters. I think it's deliberate. I think they're deliberately, possibly even doing things like this. I'm not saying it is, to muddy the waters, because people are starting to put stuff together. People aren't dumb. They'll eventually figure it out. And this way, when they see aerial phenomena, we think automatically, oh, it's probably a drone. See, I'm doing it right now. But in reality, it's probably not a drone. This is in the spiritual realm, I think. But you got to keep all that weird stuff on the table. It could be preparation for something that they want to do, for they want to usher in. It's a possibility. I believe the government and the shadow governments, I think they have remarkable technology. I think with the whole G aspect of things, 5G, 6G, and then with EMFs, LMFs, millimeter waves, I think these things, when all this infrastructure is complete, I don't even think one would even need a mark, a physical chip, because that would require an update. But then again, people would go stand in line and pay for an update. That's the irony of it. But you figure with that kind of technology, it's like, just look at China. Everybody's being monitored and they don't have a chip. It's because they use their G technology and they instill their facial recognition technology through their, that's how they operate it with. In that case, when you have satellites, when you have 5, 6G technology, you don't no longer need to chip everybody. They're being traced. They're being monitored. Think about it. It's like DVDs, right? It's like, what's the point of having DVDs anymore when everything's through the Ethernet? But anyway, that's besides the point. My point is that we just don't know the level or the extent of technology that these governments have I did a video on electronic harassment and how there are hundreds of peoples um, that are probably thousands now, but at that time when I did that video, in that little town that they were in, there were hundreds of people claiming that they were hearing voices in their head and invading their thoughts, invading their sorry, I got a little mucus. I just got done eating. Invading their thoughts, which is kind of crazy. Like, imagine that. And you figure what kind of technology that can do that, that can actually tap into your brain and your mind. It would have to be some kind of wave technology. And with that being said, you don't need to individually monitor somebody through a microchip. They're within the net, right? All right. Well, it's getting late and these things are still flying around. I think I got enough video to share with y'all. Pretty cool stuff. There's another one. I don't know, my dog's got to be getting cold. It doesn't seem to bother her though. He's patrolling. All right. There's another one. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the conversation and the sightings. Whatever it may be, we got to stay prepared, stay prayed up. Stay faithful. All right, till next time.